What? Wait, I don't think they're ready for this.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, look nice. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, look nice.
Yeah, we look nice, future looking nice, we don't need to tell them twice.
We come the future.
Yeah, we look nice, future looking real nice, we don't need to tell them twice.
We come the future.
Well, the Reds produced one of the comebacks of the season the last time these two teams met here. And of course, they repeated the late show against City's rivals victory a week back. One further drama lies in store tonight at Coopers between the now deposed cup holders and the reigning champions. It is a glorious evening in South Australia. Hello and welcome on Network 10 and Paramount Plus to Saturday Night Football. The pandemic, of course, still wreaking havoc with the fixturing, but this one has survived the cull. We will take a check on the two-team lineups, starting with Adelaide United, and the Reds are forced into one change with the suspension of Isuzu following that red card against Melbourne victory. So Joe Coletti makes his first start of the campaign. Stefan Morg remains with the club while he waits for that visa clearance for his move to Japan. Still no Michael Jakobsen, so George Timoteu continues in the heart of defence. New signings Hiroshi Ubasuki and the returning Lachlan Brook are both on the bench. As for Melbourne City, they go with an unchanged 11. Curtis Good still on his way back after COVID. So Rostin Griffiths again partners Nuno Reyes. It's his 200th appearance at the club where his A-League men's career started all the way back in 2009. Scott Galloway, Scott Jamieson and Matt Leckie all line up against their former club as well. There's no Marco Tilio in the matchday squad, but Stefan Kolakowski is on the bench. Well, Patrick Kisnorbo has confirmed that all but a handful of his squad have had or still have COVID, which may explain in part, as Andy Harper discussed, their run of draws at the moment. Carl Veert back on the sidelines this evening after recovering from a bout of COVID himself. The virus, which is now ruled out, his assistant Ross Aloisi, of course, took charge in Veert's absence last week against Victory. Joe Gauci continuing in place of James Delianoff, who continues his recovery from that dislocated shoulder. And interesting that, of course, elective surgeries at the moment in South Australia are not permitted because of the COVID situation. So they're in a bit of a quandary as to what to do about that injury, whether to try and nurse him through it or go for the surgery at some possible moments. Interesting times around the world. However, at Cooper Stadium tonight, we have got a potential classic on show. Adelaide United against Melbourne City. And let's hope, Andy Harper, we have similar drama to the first.
I don't think there's any doubt there will be. Adelaide have delivered some really exciting football this year and started to pick up some results, which is good for them, particularly such a young squad. Melbourne City, defending champion, such a powerful organisation, and they play that way on the field. The impacts of COVID have been really evident on their football so far, but they're still in there, doing well. And I'm sure they'll be targeting the 3 points here tonight.
Here is Harvey Lopez looking to float one into the box, but easily steered away by Galloway. And just on Spaniards, which of course Funday is. How big is the absence of Isuzu for the Reds tonight?
Huge. He's one of the biggest players in the league. And coming back to Adelaide was such a huge fillip for the club, and he slipped straight back into that role of leader, an excellent player. So you do miss, I mean, you don't replace players like that, but it's a great chance for Joe Coletti. He's had to survive on subsistence rations, really, as first-team football goes, but he's never done poorly for Adelaide when he's come in.
Louis Dorigo, of course, was another option, but you might remember he had to come off himself late on against Victory last week with a combination of a bit of concussion and a knock to the knee as well. He is on the bench this evening, but perhaps understandably not risked from the off. So Coletti gets his chance and he's hot in pursuit here of Aidan O'Neill, who's run the ball over the sidelines for a Reds throw. Who have won just 2 of their last 8 at Cooper Stadium, and they've turned the ball over immediately from that throw. Berenguer into the bright sunlight that is bathing that third of the pitch, being defended by Adelaide United. Javi Lopez with the intervention, who had a goal, of course, ruled out against Victory last week. That would have been goals in consecutive games for the Spaniards. That's nosebleed territory for him.
Nice line, yeah.
And Bernardo's going to reach this one, volley it back across the face of goal. And that was a good try by Juande. Caught it flush on the volley, just a touch too high.
Good technique to keep this in play. The cross wasn't great from Goodwin, actually, but it was well retrieved from Bernardo.
Good distribution from Glover. And Leckie has got goal side of Javi Lopez. It's Matt Leckie pushed away by Gauci and seen behind by Kitto. The first real sighting of goal for either side.
Well, this is superb from Socceroo Leckie. His great moments have been few and far between since his return to the A-League. It's quite got in the swing of it. Everything's been so disrupted.
They play it short. Jamison floats it in. It's a decent delivery. And it'll come here for Aidan O'Neill, who again caught it pretty sweetly on the half volley, but into the Red Army behind. Jamison. Leckie. And I think Javi Lopez might have picked up a bit of a whack there as well. Leckie just perhaps trying to protect the ball. Left a trailing arm. No malice involved. Now there's a bit of confusion in the Reds' ranks. And Metcalf sidesteps Lopez and tees up Matt Leckie. Will drive it across. And there is the opening goal for Andrew Naboots, who scored that absolute beauty with the outside of the boots. The last time the two teams met here in November, that wants more regulation. And City lead, and on balance, perhaps deservedly so.
Yeah, I think the tide was certainly swinging in the favour of Melbourne City. Metcalf sets it up brilliantly there on the Harvey Norman replay. And great signs for Australia fans, Melbourne City fans. The emergence of Matt Leckie back as an A-League men's player. It's a superb pass from the Socceroo star.
Obviously, we don't 100% know, Andy, the state of fitness of Isuzu or Brook. Does he make changes this early? Or does he give his team the chance to try and turn things around?
Yeah, if Isuzu is even close to playing, you're looking to get in as soon as you can.
Good win. Useful ball. Bernardo at the back post. Will it sit for Blackwood? Not quite. And Mork strikes the crossbar. Courtesy of a deflection, it appeared. And referee Chris Beath has blown the whistle, though, in favour of Melbourne City.
No push there. No push there. Is that a foul by Blackwood as adjudged on Rostam Griffiths? Can't see what else has gone wrong here. Otherwise,
might be handball against Blackwood. Did he try and control it with the arm?
That should have been a corner, I think. I couldn't see anything particularly untoward there.
Toure still on the sidelines, of course, along with Cassini Yengi. He'll be out for quite some time. It's his birthday, by the way, during the week. You've seen. Happy birthday belatedly to him. In the air it goes. Stephen Lork, and fouled by Bernardo Metcalf. It's the Reds bench, including Story Irankunda, who made that little bit of history last week, didn't he, when he came off the bench? The first player born after the very first A-League game back in 2005 to feature in the men's competition. There's Lockie Brook, sat next to Louis Dorigo on the sidelines. It is half-time, though, at Cooper's. We'll see if Carl Beard makes any changes at the interval. It is Andrew Naboot's third goal of the campaign that separates the two. Teed up beautifully by the former Red, Matt Leckie. And as was the case in November, it's Melbourne City with the advantage. Can they hold on to it in the second half? Adelaide United 0, Melbourne City 1 at the break. As mentioned, City have dropped 6 points from winning position so far this season. 2 of them in the meeting between these two at this venue back in November, when the Reds staged a real grandstand finish. And it has become something of a theme for Adelaide United, Andy Harper, this season. They've needed these comebacks.
Yeah, they've left their run late a couple of times. It's made for great viewing, I've got to say. And I agree with the guys, Max and Bruce, in their quick half-time summary down pitch side. But they've got probably a bit of a stronger bench than Melbourne City because of the ravages of COVID. It's not often you say that in the modern era. But I think it's the case, certainly with the return of Lachlan Brook, probable introduction of the J-League's Hiroshi Iwasuki. A couple of really good weapons upon which to call.
Well, the home fans trying to do their bits to lift their side. City with the throw. Galloway. Aidan O'Neill forced to turn and chase. All the way back to Tom Glover. For a throw off the head of Jacob Tratt. There's the Red Army behind the goal. Norberg getting through the chewing gum at a fair old rate of knots.
A little slow out of the blocks to start this second half, Adelaide.
Timoteo. Well read by O'Neill. The turn wasn't that flash from McLaren. And bursting through is Goodwin. Slaloming his way past Galloway. Now Bernardo. This looks promising for Adelaide. Bernardo! Tom Glover dive, but an exciting burst, and Craig Goodwin at the heart of it.
Yeah, nice cut inside. Didn't give himself enough of a chance, actually. Just needs to tee that ball up a bit further away. If Iwasuki is ready to play and is the expected substitute, then he goes right into the heat of battle where Melbourne City are carrying those cards.
McLaren with the long run out towards the touchline. He's found Metcalf. Still Connor Metcalf. Good intervention by Coletti. Not a bad release either for Blackwood, and Bernardo bombing forwards. Blackwood had to check. Shackled by Griffiths as he was. Look at that for a pass. Goodwin with Galloway in close attendance. Is this the moment for the Reds? Awkward ball in, and Glover has spilled it. And George Blackwood following up silences those critics in the stands and equalises for Adelaide United.
Well, it's a great moment for Adelaide and George Blackwood, who's carried quite a load this evening. But this is a dynamic switch of play on the Harvey Norman replay. Right fullback to left wing. Good touch, adequate from Goodwin. That's another one of those fantastic crosses. Tommy Glover couldn't handle it. And George Blackwood arriving on the spot right in time to force home the rebound and give Adelaide a share of the game.
Swept out by Lecky towards Naboot. Lecky trying to stay on side, had to check his run. Good ball, and 2-1 Melbourne City. That combination play again inside the box, and it's Jamie McLaren inevitably with the finish. And City's lead is restored at 2-1. Here's a question for you, Harps. Will he beat Bessart Berisha's all-time A-League men's record? 142 goals, Berisha. 108 McLaren at the moment. If he stays at City or in the competition, you'd fancy he would.
Yeah,
he's young enough.
So. I think so. His goal-scoring habits would have to drop off markedly. Be a good race. Berisha, brilliant for the A-League and his clubs.
Now, Irankunda in towards that near post where George Blackwood was lurking. Expertly found he was initially in the first phase of play as well by Juande. Here's Lopez. Going around the outside and firing the cross. It's a good one too, and Goodwin's at the back post. And Blackwood, was he held there? Was he held by Nuno Reyes? Chris Beath turns away and initially says no, but VAR's going to have a look at that. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the fans signalling that surely they're going to review that one. Sean Evans in the VAR booth tonight. It appears that there's a tug on the jersey. That looks clear-cut to me.
Clear penalty. And we talked, Simon, about two sets of eyes seeing something different. I reckon the whole stadium seeing something different there. Now, the referee can decide that's not much of a shirt pull, but I don't know that any sort of shirt pull is permissible. And bizarrely, as the ball came to the back post, Craig Goodwin didn't really get the contact as a header that you'd want.
He's coming over to have a look at the small screen. Chris Beath, he's been advised by Sean Evans that he needs to review this, and I would be stunned if this was not a penalty. However, Hubs, we might have said that once or twice before.
Well, you can't take it back now, Simon.
Career, no?
You've hit send on the email. It's not coming back, bro. Clear handful of shirt. There. I mean, I don't know. The referee's going to see that once and think, yeah, I can't allow that to go on. Penalty.
It has to be. Yeah, it's a penalty kick. And it's going to be a booking, a second booking for Nuno Reyes. Big trouble for Melbourne City. The Portuguese defender is off. City down to 10. And their lead is oh so precarious once more. And potentially about to evaporate from 11 metres. Goodness me, high drama. So as Nuno Reyes makes his way off, George Blackwood is going to be replaced. We're going to see the debutants, Hiroshi Ibusuki, momentarily. George Blackwood's done his job. Got his goal tonight. A-League men's debut incoming for Hiroshi Ibusuki, the 30-year-old Japanese striker, the first ever from Japan to represent Adelaide United, taking the number of his compatriots up to 5 in the competition this season. And the first thing he's going to be watching is this penalty from Craig Goodwin, who scored a brace from the spot against Wellington here a few weeks back. Let's see if he can dispatch this one and get the Reds level. It's the familiar stuttering run up. Oh, and Glover saves it. Gets the right way. Good stop by the Melbourne City custodian. And Adelaide hearts are broken.
Well, for now, they are. They've got the man advantage still with the 20 minutes thereabouts to play.
Here's Goodwin. That was a good piece of improvisation for a first touch off the bench.
What was that
Well
from
done.
Jordan Hall? Good set. He looked like one of those guys at the Clown who'd fallen off his stilts. The circus, rather than the Clown.
Well, it was effective.
It was brilliant, actually.
It's Goodwin's corner. And, oh, great save by Glover, but eventually it's followed in by Isuzu, a goal on debut by the Japanese striker, and the Reds come again at 2-2. Initially, Glover made a good save, but they just could not keep it out, Melbourne City.
Hiroshi Isuzu. It's a good header from Stefan Malk. It's an excellent save from Tommy Glover on the Harvey Norman replay. It's the Japanese debutant who helps himself to an opener, a leveller. And it's 2-2 again here at Coopers. Adelaide v Melbourne City.
Well, once again, high drama between these two at Coopers. They always seem to deliver. And what a moment for Hiroshi Isuzu, an instant return. Year-olds, looks as though it could be a pretty useful acquisition. Started his career, strangely enough, in Spain, including a little stint with Sevilla. Actually came on in the Seville derby back in 2012 for Alvaro Negredo against Real Betis. A big game there in the south of Spain. More latterly with Shimizu S-Pulse back in his homeland.
Started,
the final 60 seconds. Sorry, Andy.
That's right. Started in Spain with Girona, which is also a club
Yep.
in the City Football Group stable. I'm not sure if they were at that point, but a little bit of symmetry there.
Here's Goodwin, charged down by Galloway. It's going to be a corner. Might be all on this for the Reds. All hands on deck for City. They've led twice in this game. They will not want to let this slip, but Carveit's team have thrown everything at City. It's Goodwin's corner, and headed just over the top in the end by Tratt. He is a threat in the air, though, at set pieces, isn't he?
Well, he had worked for a wonderful opportunity there. Jacob Tratt will be really disappointed he didn't control that header better. Again, it's Goodwin dropping the ball on the point. Perhaps slightly misjudged the jump, but it was still a strong jump, and he had a clear win at the ball. Couldn't control the header. It's been strong tonight, Tratt.
City repelled the final raid of the game. All eyes on Chris Beath. We tick over into the 6th minute of stoppage time. And the referee says that will do. Well, terrific entertainment between these two once again. Once again, it finishes 2-2 at Coopers. Once again, Melbourne City led. Hence the frustration on the face of Jamie McLaren. He was on target to give them a 2-1 advantage after Andrew Naboot's first half goal. Adelaide's second half strikes from George Blackwood, and then late on the substitute Hiroshi Isuzu on debut. There's a red card for Nuno Reis, a missed penalty by Craig Goodwin. Once again, a match that had simply everything, and perhaps the predictable outcome in the end. Adelaide have now drawn 5 of their opening 8 matches, City 4 of their first 7, and it ends all square as it did in November at Coopers. Adelaide United 2, Melbourne City 2.